for staying with us on Morning Vibe on Wellness Tuesday. So, have you heard about the new buzz around ashwagandha? What are your thoughts on this trending supplement among young people? And of course, we have with us Fatma Muhammad. She's been talking about this particular herb, what it does, how you're supposed to take it, when you're supposed to take it, and generally understanding your body. So before we went on the break, we said that we'll look at how it also affects men and how it can also help men.
Yeah.
So Fatma, tell us, how are men supposed to use it? How can it affect? How does it affect them, rather?
Ashwagandha is also highly beneficial to men because it can actually help in boosting male reproductive health. So the first thing is the male dominant hormone is testosterone. So in women, we have estrogen as our dominant hormone, and in men, it's testosterone. It's supposed to help in several functions, but one major one is, of course, for fertility, to make sure that a man is able to have healthy sperm. So ashwagandha will come in to make sure that your testosterone levels as a man are actually regulated, because right now, because unfortunately of our lifestyle, we find many men are struggling with lower levels of testosterone and higher levels of the female hormone estrogen. That's where you find men gaining more weight, even developing breasts, even struggling with their fertility. It's brought about by lifestyle, it's brought about by unhealthy diet, it's also brought about by drinking a lot of alcohol, because alcohol produces estrogen in the body. So you find more men who take more alcohol, we struggle with their weight and also issues like lower levels of testosterone. So ashwagandha comes in to make sure that your testosterone levels actually are boosted, and so you maintain healthy levels of testosterone. And the second thing is that it comes in to boost your sperm count, because we have men who are able to produce sperm, but the sperm count is not enough to help them in making sure that they are fertile. So it actually works by making sure that it boosts a man's sperm count, which is very, very important, especially in this day and age where we're seeing more men struggle with their fertility. It's also really important because it can help in boosting the sperm quality, because we do find that many couples are struggling because men are able to produce the sperm, but the quality is not good enough. And this, of course, is affected by lifestyle, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, an inactive lifestyle, weight management. All these are issues that actually affect your sperm. And so let's understand the fact that the sperm actually has cells, and you need to have healthy sperm cells in order for you to be able to make a woman fertile and able to have a baby. So it's the same thing even for us women. We need to have healthy egg cells such that we can be able to have a healthy pregnancy, conceive, and have a healthy baby. So ashwagandha comes in to help with that. And also ashwagandha can help men with their stamina and their strength, because again, the lives that we're living right now do not support us to actually have a very active lifestyle and also a very healthy lifestyle. When you think about it, we're more exposed to our phones, you know, the TV, or sitting at work for a long period of time. And so because of that, we're not necessarily supporting any kind of activity basically in our lives. And so because of that, we want to be able to boost our stamina and our strength. I know for a fact that even for me, I struggle with that when I'm very inactive for a very long time. When I'm exercising, I don't perform the way I normally do when I've rested well, you know. And that's because you find that you don't necessarily have the same kind of strength when you're doing that workout. And so ashwagandha will come in to actually help in boosting the stamina and the strength for men, and that's very, very important. And other than that, we're actually seeing that it helps in making sure that it reduces anxiety and also gives you better levels of sleep. Basically, your body has this thing called the circadian rhythm, whereby you've told your body what time to sleep and what time to wake up, right? So when you look at the type of lives that we're living, you're probably waking up very, very early to sit through traffic, to get to work, to sit all day, and then to eat, and then to sit all day, then to get back home, sit through traffic, etc. And then we do this for very many years, for as long as you're going to be employed or heading to work, right? And so the weird thing is that as human beings, we're not understanding that the exposure to this kind of, you know, stressful situations actually does have side effects. It does have a negative effect on our health. And so for men, they can use ashwagandha to help in coping with these daily stressful situations that actually put the body through an immense amount of stress, whether it's to get to work, to go to the gym, or to just, you know, make sure that they are fertile and healthy. So those are just some of the ways that ashwagandha can be able to help in boost men's health. And let's not forget, even insulin in itself is a hormone that has caused many issues, many health complications in both men and women, and especially for men, because you find that the hormone insulin, okay, it is a hormone that is released by your pancreas to make sure that your body doesn't have high levels of blood sugar. Because whenever you eat, the food is broken down. It is broken down into sugar. It is supposed to be used by your body the right way, but you find majority of us, a huge percentage, have insulin resistance, whereby we're not really responding to the insulin, excuse me, that our pancreas is producing for us. And so because of that, we end up with high levels of blood sugar, high levels of insulin. We are resistant to the insulin we are producing, and also that's going to lead to many complications. You're more susceptible now to diabetes, which is a lifestyle condition that is a lifetime condition. You're more susceptible to high blood pressure, weight issues, you know, struggling with that, even hormonal imbalance, because insulin in itself is a hormone. So when it is very high, that means you're already out of balance. And as we started the conversation, we said the adaptogen comes in to bring you back into that state of balance, because already something is happening in your life that's getting you out of it. So we want for men to also understand that it's going to help them in that way, and also just boosting their reproductive health. Sex drive is also important, because the lives that we are living right now, of course, are affecting us in so many ways. And a question that I've been receiving the past 1 month, so many women and men are just struggling with low sex drive. It's just something that they're not understanding. Like, they're not even feeling that feeling of wanting to have sex with their partner, and they're not understanding because it's not normal as a human being. And that's because of life, like things that are happening, they're actually buffering and making you in such a way like you're not even sensitive to something that is supposed to be normal to your body. And so because of that, ashwagandha will come in to actually help you in boosting your sex drive as a man, and also of course for women.
And what's the dosage for men?
For men, if you are active, as I mentioned, you would take, if let's say you are someone who starts your day, you are exercising, you're a person that's active, you would take 300 milligrams at the start of the day. So let's say you start your day at 6 a.m., you've eaten your breakfast, you've showered, you've done whatever. Now you take your ashwagandha at 300 milligrams, and then the next time you take it is at the end of the day. So you're back home, you're about to go to sleep. What you'll do is, maybe let's say you've eaten, you've showered, now you take the ashwagandha to help you with better sleep. But again, if let's say you've figured out that you can be able to manage your daily stress, you don't have to take it. You know, again, we insist that there's some, you know, like maybe something has happened in your life that you feel like you need this support from it. It's very beneficial. But again, if you've gone to the hospital and checked your blood sugar, blood pressure, everything is normal, everything is good, then you find that you might not need it, you know, because again, you've coped, maybe you've changed your lifestyle, you're a lot healthier now, you're feeling much better, you're good. Or you can do it just once, where you feel like, okay, I may need a little bit of a boost, or maybe I've had a really crazy month this month. Okay, I'll take it, and then I tap out. Because again, you don't necessarily want to do it for such a long time, such that now your body has forgotten how to produce cortisol and manage stress on its own without it, right?
I find that quite interesting, the way it can just become totally, you know, just
different.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
It's insane. But you know, the thing is, we are, of course, in a time where many people, men and women, are very aware of, you know, the wellness, mental health, and the like. You know, they're very cognizant that it's something that has to be part of them. But are we seeing now more men on that trend, more men who are aware of themselves, also taking care of themselves? Because women, you know, you have to, because when it's not working,
it's just
like, it's not working. You know, but for men, sometimes they push it until, like, when something totally breaks down, it's like, I really think I need to go to the
That is so true. You make a very good point. Actually, for us women, we do it because, unfortunately, we go through many life phases. You find yourself needing a doctor because maybe your period is too painful. You find yourself needing a doctor because you're thinking about becoming pregnant. You find yourself needing a doctor because you're going to be going through perimenopause and menopause, and now you need to know what exactly you need to do. So these phases have been set up in such a way that we are just bound to take care of our health. And also, as I mentioned, our hormones are cyclical. So because of that, there will be changes that probably are going to worry you. And so you find yourself, even if you don't want to, you just find yourself having to know your hormone levels, having to know all that. As for men, now we are seeing more men being interested in taking care of their health and their well-being. And that's mainly because, number one, the higher levels of lifestyle conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, even cancer is something that has actually, I can say, has become a big issue in this country, because I can say in just this past year, I've known more people who have been diagnosed with cancer, and that was very rare back then. So that means that it's now becoming more common to actually...
And just to cut you there a bit, that is a lot in connection to the cortisol levels.
Yes, the cortisol levels and the insulin resistance, because understanding the fact that cortisol as a hormone helps you in dealing with stress. But when you release too much of it, meaning you've put your body through a lot of stress, your body naturally will want to give you more cortisol so that you can deal with that stress. So as a result, you end up having high levels of cortisol because you've produced too much. And then when you have high levels of cortisol, what happens is you become now cortisol resistant, meaning now you're resistant to your own body's cortisol. So it's not necessarily doing what it is supposed to do because you've released too much of it. It's the same thing with insulin. You release insulin, it's supposed to help you to deal with blood sugar levels, so they're not elevated every time you eat. And then when you keep on eating all the time, or eating large portions of food, or eating foods that spike your blood sugar, then your body makes more and more insulin to try and help you. Then in the end, you become insulin resistant. Now, it's almost like there's no connection. It is produced, but your body does not even recognize it anymore. So that's the biggest issue with the cortisol. It's the biggest issue with insulin, because cortisol and insulin in your blood sugar, they actually play pamoja like that, such that when you have higher levels of cortisol, you will have higher levels of blood sugar, and insulin. So you need to actually be very careful. And also just the fact that we are seeing more men who are now being aware of what's really going on with their bodies and taking control of their health, because these lifestyle conditions are now almost like causing a change and threatening, of course, their lives. Especially if you wake up in the morning and you are fulfilled, you like what you do, then you want to be around on this earth. You really want to achieve your goals. You want to be around to see your children grow up. So for that reason, we're seeing more men now interested in just taking care of their health. It's because of the lifestyle conditions that we've mentioned, and also because I really think there's a big wave whereby we're seeing men now realizing fertility struggles are not just women's struggles. They're also men's struggles. And there are couples who have stated openly to us, even on Wellness KE, that they're struggling with their fertility, and the woman has had her test and she's fine. And then they come and realize that it's the man who's struggling, because now the lifestyle that men are living, it's now catching up. Now we're seeing like it's catching up, because before it used to be, okay, women are going to have to, worry the most about their health. They're the ones who carry the babies. But now we're realizing you cannot, basically, just for us to understand, a woman's body cannot have estrogen without testosterone. Your body actually cannot produce its own estrogen. We take testosterone, then we turn it into estrogen, then we are able to have our period, we are able to become pregnant, and so forth. And so because of that, it shows us how important testosterone is, and it shows us how important a man's health is in order for us to procreate, basically. And so men really have now gotten to that place where they have understood their health actually is really, really vital for survival, basically.
There are very many people online who sell these herbs, especially ashwagandha. And some of them learned the skill, like they can learn it online. Others were taught maybe by their grandmothers or family members who are into herbal medicine and the like. But it's not everyone who sells this herbs that are actually quite qualified to do so. Actually, I don't even think many people would be qualified, quote unquote. It's something that you learn and you know what to do with it. So how can one tell the fake and the real, and also someone who just wants, is an opportunist, and they're just trying to make money from, you know, a wellness fad or, you know, a trend.
Because they've realized that there's a trend and now there's an opportunity, so let me just sell this. I would say, as just, you know, as a person, make sure that you take control of your health by, number one, asking that person, whoever it is that is selling this herb to you, number one, ask them the very important questions. Like, you will find out that they care about your health by the advice that they are going to give you. For instance, if I know that I have ashwagandha here with me and I'm trying to make sure that you buy it from me, I would want to give you the right information. I want for you to understand what does it do to your body. So even as a person and you are interested in this wellness trend, try and make sure that you do your due diligence. Do your research regarding ashwagandha. Secondly, make sure that you have your vitals in check, because without your vitals, you will never know. Because this person has the ashwagandha with them and they want to sell it to you.
But are people loving themselves enough to do this?
I don't think people are.
Because it's so important that, you know, and it's really taxing. I mean, you're telling me before the break that you had to take a long time to be in touch with yourself and your body and how you feel. Are people taking that much time to understand? Even my hair is, you know, growing different this time, or my nails or my skin. Yeah,
I think the reason why they don't, and I approach it with grace, is because most of us have just taken up the responsibility later on in our lives to take care of our health. For me, I would say I've done it because I've gone through sickness for many years and I almost lost my life. Then I go to a place where I was like, okay, I really need to do this. But the reason why I take it with grace is because I've understood as human beings, we're always going to find ourselves trying something.
Before we continue, Fatma, I'd like to read this WhatsApp question from Joan Koya. She says, hi, is this drug really useful for me at 60 as far as low sex stamina is concerned? If so, how can I access it in Bomet County?
Okay, yes, it's going to help you at 60. You're still young, I would say, because I'm guessing this is a man.
It is a man.
Yes. So for low sex stamina, it's going to help you because it helps in boosting your sex drive, as we've said. It also boosts sperm quality, sperm count, and all that. So if it's something that you want to take, make sure that you know the dosages. And also, we need to insist, John, that you have to know your vitals before you start using it. This means that he wants to start using it to boost his sex drive and also to give himself better reproductive health, but he needs to know his blood pressure, he needs to check, he needs to know his blood sugar levels, he needs to know if he has even proper iron levels, because ashwagandha has very high level, will boost your iron levels, and there are people who already have too much iron. So all these vitals are going to be important. So when he goes to hospital, get the tests first. Once you have your results, then approach it as this is what you're going to use to boost your sex drive. But yes, it is available. You can be able to purchase it online, or if you don't find the right source, make sure you reach out to us on Wellness KE. I'll be able to guide you.
Right. You can go back to the aspect that you were saying about loving yourself enough, like you had to go through something harrowing for you to get in touch with your body and want to do better.
I had to do that because I realized that it's either that or nothing. Because when you're sick, unfortunately, nothing really makes you happy. It's very depressing. It's actually something that really drains you. And so that's why I say whenever clients reach out to me, I'm not mad at them for not being able to be in tune with their health. It's because I know, even for me, if I was not sick, I'd probably still be doing the things that they're doing. It's because there's nothing that's threatening your existence or threatening your life. And so because of that, you find that more and more people are not in tune to listen to their bodies. Our bodies tell us exactly how we feel. They tell us when something is wrong. You'll notice, let's say, for instance, as you've said, maybe your hair is breaking. Maybe your period is very painful this time. Maybe you have very low energy levels. Maybe you just don't feel like getting out of bed. All these are just signs that your body is telling you you are not okay. So if there is something that I would want for all of us to try and do as much as we can, be the person that is in the driver's seat of your health, because you cannot pay anyone enough money to care. You can't. I tried it. When I was sick, I tried. I would go to different hospitals. I paid all the money that I had. I really did, Remy. But then again, the moment I found the person that cared, it was the person that cost me the least amount of money. It's just that they wanted me to be well. They gave me the best advice. So you have to try and be the person.
All right. You know, one of the key things that we are also having right now is this trend is very big with the young people. So what is the perception, or let me say the understanding of young people when it comes to health and wellness? Because you see, there's a different wave. It is there, but you know, it's mental, it's body positivity, it's just a different kind of...
It's the Gen Z effect.
Kind of thing that way, yes.
Which I love. You know, for me, I love that because it tells me more people are going to be aware of what really goes into their body. They're also going to be aware of how they're feeling. You're seeing even more people doing videos on self-care, wellness routines.
Someone saying this Vaseline is feeling. I'm like, what?
It's just how people are now like taking control. It's amazing to see, because before we were more focused on work and raising babies and all that, but now we're seeing more people saying like, okay, I should invest in myself. I am also, you know, like I matter, so I should be able to wake up and maybe have my cup of herbal tea, or drink my lemon water, or maybe do a few minutes of yoga, or maybe meditate, or maybe just watch something that's positive that will boost my mood. It tells us that now we are getting to that place where we want to be in the driver's seat of our own health, meaning we don't want someone else there guiding us blindly on what we should do with our health. And unfortunately, this has been happening for many years. Like, we've really been, if you feel like, okay, you have a headache, or maybe you have painful periods, okay, take this pill, and then you're going to feel better. But then the period still comes back the next month and it's still painful. I think now we want to get to the root cause, and then we want to solve it once and for all. Because we've realized, like, okay, we can have it all. We can be able to live a good life. We can be able to work and be fulfilled and do amazing things. And so because of that, people are now, because you have that feeling of fulfillment, people are now wanting better for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that we have to know the precautions and know exactly how much in terms of the dosages of what it is that we're trying. And before we hop onto a trend, we have to understand, of course, our own health.
Because there's so many trends, there's too many. I mean, there's this and other, you know, herbs and trends. There was, what is that water called? Okra water.
Oh yes, the okra water became like a craze. And the weird thing is that whenever it's a trend, I always tell myself, like, why don't people just eat the okra? Like, why don't you just
cook it?
Can you cook it and then just eat and then be fine?
But was it really beneficial?
I don't think so, because I think, you know, it worked for few people and then it didn't work for others.
And why was it big at that time? Why do you think it was big at that time?
I think it's because just people decide, you know, social media is, it's kind of amazing how something can really go wild. Right now, if I mentioned to some of my ladies, like, when you eat carrots, like with the skin on, and you make a salad with it, it actually helps you if you have fibers and painful periods. And so many of them were like, okay, now give me recipes of how I can be able to prepare this carrot with the skin on and etc. But again, if let's say we were supposed to do a video and it goes viral, everybody will be looking for carrots with the skin on and making. But then again, it's been there for such a long time.
There's nothing new per se.
There's nothing new under the sun is just my motto in life. I just know there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a shift. It's just that we are discovering it at this time, right? And there was a time where it was hot yoga. There was a time where it was meditation. There was a time where it was just mental health, and that's it. But I say there's nothing wrong with it, because all of it just leads us to us being better. I would rather have that than just, you know, doing something that is negative for your health. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that before we hop onto it, let's understand, like, what do our bodies need? Because my body and your body will be different in terms of how I respond. You know, I drink Ceylon cinnamon water every day. It helps me with regulating my blood sugar, and I don't have cravings all the time.
Actually, I was going to ask you about cravings, because that's one thing that women deal with a lot. Yes, as we wind up though, you can, you know, just give us our perspective, and then we wind up.
Cravings. Cravings will actually hit you all the time as a woman because of hormones, and also for men, because you have a hunger hormone and you also have a satiety hormone. There's a hormone that tells you you're hungry, one that tells you you're full. But then when we keep releasing them all the time, because we're eating all the time, we now become resistant to these hormones, so we don't have the signals anymore.
So we keep having.
I know, we keep
out there with that nonchalant feeling, you know. That
so we keep having
feeling.
all these cravings. But what you can do, you can actually usually try and use water with apple cider vinegar in it. Make sure it's natural, and you'll do just a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in your drinking water, maybe 500 ml. You take this first thing in the morning, it helps me. And also there's a type of Ceylon cinnamon. It's called Ceylon cinnamon. It helps with regulating
what about people
blood
with
sugar.
acidity though?
Yeah, acidity?
Yeah, people with acidity that would use the apple cider vinegar.
Oh, you can switch. You can actually switch to the Ceylon cinnamon. You can do Ceylon cinnamon. It helps a lot with your blood sugar control, insulin resistance, and cravings, because that's what I take every day. I actually take it in my water every day, and it has helped me big time. It helps with weight loss, with your belly fat, and it also helps you to stop just wanting to eat. Even when you are done eating, you don't feel like you need to get a snack or something else. But
yeah, like
all
I'm
the
eating, but
sometimes you even find yourself, you are eating right now, but you're like, oh, and then what am I going to have after this? You're already thinking about it. But now we need to tap into our bodies so that we tell our bodies when it is time for us to eat, as opposed to the body now controlling you, because that can't happen.
Oh my God, and that happens half the time.
Of
You're just
course.
like, I'm trying to be in control here, but you know, I'm feeling.
Okay,
like
what's your like, you would say, like the thing that makes you struggle the most when it comes to your cravings?
Just when I want soda, I know there's something very
you
wrong.
have to have it, yeah.
Yeah, like when I want soda, because I wouldn't take it every other day. When I start craving it, I'm like, yeah, kuna shida hapa.
Apa kuna shida. We need to do something.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. But it's normal, and it's just the fact that when that happens, it's your body just saying we need to regulate our blood sugar, and you can try that and it will help you.
Right, Fatma, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate you being here, and of course expounding on what ashwagandha is. And of course, let's hope that our viewers have understood a bit more of what this trend is, what the herb is, what it's supposed to do for men and women. And you can have a look at this you know, conversation on YouTube, and you know, just recap on what she said and how you can have a healthy way of using it. Thank you for watching Morning Vibe. My name is Remmy Majala. See you again tomorrow. Yeah, that's it.